And once again, a good Thursday. Oh my gosh, my apologies. I'm forgetting what day it is. A good Friday afternoon from inside the Uniplex Center in Dieppe, New Brunswick. It is AO Live's continuing coverage of the 2025 U15 Male Atlantic Hockey Championships. Jeff Robichaud with you on this Friday afternoon, day number 2 of what so far has been a great weekend of hockey here in the Greater Moncton area. The host team, the Dieppe Flyers, coming out with a 5-3 win in our previous game just a few moments ago. And the WearWell Bombers dropped a tough one this morning as their record drops to 0-1, 1-0, as they suffered an overtime loss to the hands of the Moncton Hawks earlier this morning. It's game number 3 of the day here today. It'll be the WearWell Bombers out of Nova Scotia taking on the Eastern Thunder, team out of Newfoundland, Labrador. The Eastern Thunder losing one of their top defensemen to an injury, upper body injury, and he's still out of the lineup. So the Eastern Thunder a little bit short-handed, as they only have 17 skaters listed on the roster as of right now. So they're going to be running with 5D coming up for this game here, as we're just moments away from puck drop. We're going to get to the national anthem, and we'll drop the puck on the opening 20 minutes here of our third game of the day here on this Friday afternoon. Kick back and enjoy. We'll be back right after the national anthem.
On behalf of the U15 AAA Hockey Championship Host Committee, we invite all participants and fans alike to enjoy our great game in a very respectful manner. Ces personnes sont ici pour appliquer les règles du jeu. Leur formation, expérience et intégrité leur qualifient pour leur rôle dans ce match. Au nom du comité hôte du championnat atlantique U15 préparant, nous invitons tous les participants et spectateurs à profiter de ce beau match en restant très respectueux. Nous reconnaissons que la terre sur laquelle nous réussissons aujourd'hui est le territoire traditionnel non cédé des peuples Woliastok uniquement. Puissons-nous apprendre à vivre avec respect sur cette terre et à vivre en paix et en amitié avec ces peuples. We respectfully acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional unceded territory of the Woliastok and Mi'kmaq people. May we learn to live with respect on this land and live in peace and friendship with its people. Et maintenant, voici votre aliment débutant pour le match d'aujourd'hui pour les WearWell Bombers. Here is today's WearWell Bombers starting line. Starting in goal, Connor Allwood. À la défense, on defense, Jack Cameron, Max Parker. And your forwards, was attaquants, Rowan Sin, Cohen Little, and Gavin McCullough. Now your starting lineup for the Eastern Thunder. Voici l'alignement partant pour le Eastern Thunder. Dans les filets, starting in goal, Liam Huey. À la défense, on defense, Connor Huey and Jack Clark. And your forwards, was attaquants, Seth Peach, Luke McGuire, and Jaden Smith. Veuillez vous lever si vous êtes capable et enlever vos chapeaux et casquettes pour notre hymne national. Please rise if you are able. Take off your hats and caps for our national anthem. Good luck to both teams. Play hard, play fair, and have fun. Bonne chance aux deux équipes. Jouez fort, jouez avec respect et amusez-vous bien.
National anthem's all said and done. We're just moments away from dropping the puck here on this afternoon's third game of the day between the WearWell Bombers representing Nova Scotia and the Eastern Thunder representing Newfoundland Labrador. Starting goaltenders for the WearWell Bombers is going to be Connor Alward. My apologies. As the Bombers are in their road whites with black and gray trim. The Thunder in their home dark blues, very reminiscent of the kind of third jerseys of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Deep blue with light blue and white trim. Starting goaltender for the Eastern Thunder will be Liam Healy. As we are underway here in Dieppe for our third game of the afternoon. Jack Clark played it over onto the near side. That puck will get played down into Bombers territory. Peach trying to play that out in front of the goal, goes off a couple of sticks, and it's picked up there by the captain, Jack Cameron. His pass goes off a skate, but it's going to be picked up down deep in Thunder territory. Little applied around the wall. Cameron going to keep it in at the near point. Williams on the near wall as well. He can't keep it in at the line. This is going to go down the ice. This will have enough. No, actually, it's not going to have enough to make it for an icing call. So great weight there by the Thunder defense to get it down and prevent the icing call. Through the neutral zone now, it is the Bombers working their way in as Sim gets hooked up. And there's going to be a penalty here coming up to the Thunder, a hooking call. And so just 53 seconds into the first period, there is going to be a Bombers power play. Was off the draw, the Bombers control. Here's Sim with a shot right on, and Healy with the save. And he'll hang on to that one for a stoppage in play. So we talked about it a little bit off the top of the show. The WearWell Bombers are 0-2. They do have an overtime loss, so they did pick up a point. Eastern Thunder are 1-1 on the tournament, as they won their first game of the tournament, but lost the opening ceremonies game to the Flyers yesterday. As that clearing attempt bounces off the foot of Cameron and kept in at the line. Here's Williams working his way over to the other side of the ice. He has it knocked off his stick by O'Keefe, and O'Keefe will force that back down into Bombers territory. Costello doing a nice job killing off more time. Here's Swain. Swain's pass goes off the stick of Costello, and he's going to chase it down into the corner. He gets pinned against the wall there by two Bombers. Nice job there by Costello to kill off some more time down in Nova Scotia territory, but the Bombers will skate it through. Here's Cameron in over the line, dishes it into the slot. Walking in, gets a shot off. That's Williams, and he gets stopped there by Liam Healy. 2 minutes gone here in the first period, still 50 seconds to go in the Bombers power play. Here's Brett Cormier. He feeds it up the left side. Through the neutral zone, it's Sim. Plays it to the middle of the ice. And over the line, this is McCallum. He'll drop it for Grace. Grace gets a shot off, and Healy gets a piece of it, and he'll steer that just to the right of the Thunder goal. They'll play it up the wall. Sim gets bodied, but he manages to get it back to the point for Cormier. Over onto the near side, looking for the redirect through the slot was Grace. But that puck goes over into the corner. A couple of bodies go crashing down to the ice, and that allows the Thunder to clear that out in a neutral ice. Here's Connor Grace through the neutral zone. He gets in over the red line. Grace working his way over to the other side of the ice. They'll play it off the wall. Back for Cormier. Cormier tried to get the shot through. That was blocked. And it'll be skated away there by Lee for the Thunder. He has it taken away from him by Cormier, as the penalty now to Smith for the Thunder is expired. So the teams are now back at even strength. Cormier way down deep in Thunder territory. He turns it over, and the Thunder will get it out in the neutral ice, and then the Bombers will fire it back into Thunder territory. Jack Clark for the Thunder up the left side. Pass received there by Jaden Smith. He'll fire a shot that goes high and off the glass. Over on the far side, Peach gets bumped along the wall. Bombers trying to play it back in deep. couple of bodies go down to the ice. It'll come over onto the near side. Here's Healy. He fires a shot. That gets knocked down on the way through, and the Bombers are back the other way. Here's McKeever. He'll dump that in. It takes a weird bounce off the very lively boards here at the Uniplex Center. We've seen a few weird bounces at both ends of the rinks here this weekend so far. And that one almost looked like it was going to go right around the wall, and then it just came back towards the front of the goal. So Liam Healy decided to grab onto that and slow things down. Face off to the left of the Thunder goal. Draw one there by the Thunder. They'll play it off the glass out in a neutral ice. It'll be picked up by Jack Cameron. Over onto the far side for Max Parker. Parker back for Cameron. And that'll get tipped down into Thunder territory there by Spencer Anderson. Alex Kale gets bumped in behind the goal to go all the way back to the point. Here's Williams at the right point, sends the shot through. Lots of traffic in front of the net, but a nice save there by Liam Healy. Four-card pile up down in the corner, and it's skated away there by McGuire through the neutral zone. He'll dish it off for Smith. Smith with the toe drag gets the shot off. That gets blocked in the slot, and the Bombers will skate it back the other way. Smith takes down his man in the slot area. There's going to be a penalty here coming up to the Thunder as soon as they touch the puck, and that gets played over onto the left side. Here's Sim in over the line. Sim towards the front of the goal. On the back end, McKeever towards the front of the net. That was cleared away and touched by the Thunder. And finally, the whistle is blown. The back referee didn't see the Thunder touch the puck, or the referee in the neutral zone who had his arm up didn't see the Thunder touch the puck, but it was the back referee that blew it dead after they did touch it. So 15:21 to go here in period one. It's the second power play opportunity for the Bombers. Face-off is to the left of the Thunder goal. And Swain's going to get waved out of the face-off circle. It'll be McCallum to come in to take the draw for the Bombers. Back to the point. Here's Sim walking his way in, fires a shot. That gets blocked by Clark. Swain all the way back to the point. Cameron back for Sim. Back for Cameron at the point. Onto the near side. For Williams, back for Cameron, over for Sim, top of the left circle. He'll walk in, goes back door. There's a shot right on, and what a nice save there by Healy as he read that one perfectly. Sim walking in, fires a shot right on. That gets blocked. And back over for Williams on the right side. Williams for Cameron. Cameron goes back, try to go back door for Sim. That pass was broken up in the slot area. Here's Swain down in the far corner, back for Sim. Sim trying to get the shot off. The puck was rolling on him, and the Thunder is able to clear it away. Here's O'Keefe chasing it down. He'll play it all the way back into his own zone. Actually turns it over back the other way. Here's McCallum working his way in, and he has it knocked off his stick, and coming out for the poke check was Liam Healy, and that puck comes back out in a neutral ice. Sim plays it back. Here's Swain in over the line, cutting towards the middle, over for Sim. Sim trying to cut back to the middle. Swain with a shot, and he fires that one high and wide, blocker side. That pass goes off a stick and bounces back towards the Bombers line. 35 seconds to go now in the Bombers penalty with 13:50 to go here in the opening period. Through the neutral zone, that pass was picked off. Back the other way now. Here's Kale. Kale on the backhand, drops it. Trying to get a shot off. That was Abbott, but that went off a stick, and back the other way now come the Bombers. Through the neutral zone, in over the line is McKeever, but he's a little slow getting across the line after receiving that drop pass from Little, and Little just kind of kept going and put himself offside. .13:32 to go here in the first. 11 seconds to go in the power play for the Bombers. Here's Peach. He'll play it out into neutral ice. Little will skate it in over the line. Little trying to get around one man, does so, gets it out in front of the goal. That pass broken up in the slot area, played into the corner by the Thunder. Here's McDonald. Plays it onto the near side. McKeever, he gets bumped hard, and the Thunder will skate it out through the neutral zone. Here's McGuire back the other way. He's going to cut back the other way, and a nice job there by Max Parker to stay with the puck. He was able to take it away from McGuire. Smith will play it into Bombers territory. Alward will play it around the wall, and it'll go back out into neutral ice, and it'll be picked up there by Clark of the Thunder. His pass goes off his stick, bounces out into neutral ice, and the whistle is blown as McDonald and Seth Peach bump into each other. Two guys who are about the same size out there. Maybe Peach is about 2 or 3 inches on McDonald, but they bumped into each other just as the whistle is blown. McDonald was still inside Thunder territory, and it's called on the offside. 12:47 to go here in the first. We're still looking for our first goal of the game here this afternoon. All the way back down into Thunder territory. They'll just play it out in a neutral ice. Back the other way. Abbott's going to push it down inside Bomber territory. Abbott and Williams bump into each other. Here's Abbott down in the corner. He'll leave it there for Heffernan. Heffernan turns it over. Bombers will play it off the wall and all the way back down into Thunder territory. On the way back to get it is going to be Jonah Healy. Lee will play it off the wall, kept in at the line. Thunder through the neutral zone. Heffernan plays it inside the line. That'll get broken up just in the slot area, that pass. Heffernan, however, getting it back, trying to play it in deep, and had a stick lift it. And it'll be swatted away there by Healy back down into his own zone, and it's Gavin Miller picking it up. He'll play it over onto the near side. Played off the wall, back as far as the line, kept in by Sim. It'll be picked up on the far side. Healy plays it off the wall, down the ice, and this is going to go down. This will be, no, they're going to wave this off as Connor Alward came out to play the puck, and so it would have been an icing call. But Alward made a play on the puck, and so play continues. Alex Kale trying to poke it free, but it's Sim who picks it up, pass to the middle of the ice for Frazier. Frazier has it taken away from him. The Thunder will fire it back into Bombers territory. Cormier in behind the goal, plays it into the corner. Up the wall from Grace, all the way back down into Thunder territory. Clark, using his reach to swat the puck off that Bombers forward stick. Through the neutral zone now are the Thunder. And over the line, that's Alex Kale had his stick lifted. There's a shot from a bad angle, goes off the side of the Bombers' goal. McCallum on the near side, he'll play it out as far as the line. It'll be fired back into Bomber territory by LaPlage. Delayed offside. The Bombers have tagged back up. Here's Cameron, his pass up the right side for McCallum. He gets around one man, but lost an edge and went down. LaPlage will pick it up just inside the line for the Bombers. Here's a pass that goes off a stick and bounces all the way down into Bomber territory. It went off a Bomber forward stick. That's why it was no icing. Wrapped around the wall. It'll be Little unable to get it out at the line. Here's the Thunder working their way in. McGuire out in front of the goal. That pass was intercepted by the Bombers. There's a shot from the point. Gets knocked down. McGuire now with it. Neat little movement behind the goal. Out in front of the goal. And Alward had his pad right up against the post and not allowing McGuire to stuff that in short side. Puck gets fired back into Bomber territories. We're just past the halfway mark of the first period. That gets wrapped around the wall all the way back down into Thunder territory. Thunder will play it off the wall and behind their own goal. Smith just plays it up back towards the Bomber line. Here's McGuire now working his way in. Has it roll off his stick. Smith plays it down into the corner. McGuire going to chase it down. McGuire out in front of the goal. Puck is loose and it's corralled there by the Bombers. They'll clear it away to the wall. Thunder chop it back in behind the Thunder goal, or the Bombers goal, excuse me. McCallum, his pass to the middle of the ice and in over the line. Little has it knocked off his stick just in the slot area. The Bombers trying to play it in deep. That was knocked down. Here's Clark. He'll play it to the middle of the ice as it's fired off the wall there by Healy. And the Bombers will regroup and reset. Through the neutral zone, that puck will get tipped down into Thunder territory. Healy plays that around the wall. Peach on the far side gets it out in the neutral ice. McGuire trying to get away. Nice job there by Pitts to swat it off McGuire's stick. There's a shot that goes off the end wall. It comes right back out in front of the goal And Healy will grab onto that and hang on. 8:38 to go here in the first. We're still looking for our first goal of the afternoon between the Thunder and the Bombers. Face-off is to the right of the Newfoundland Labrador goal. Draw one there by the Thunder. On the near side, here's Abbott. His pass goes off an arm. Bounces out into neutral ice. Corralled there by Williams. Williams' pass up onto the right side. McKeever plays it inside Thunder territory. Bounces off the skate of the Thunder defenseman and rolls right there to Liam Healy. And he comes out and he'll just pounce on that and grab onto it and hang on. Face off to the right of the Thunder goal. These two teams met at the Ice Jam down in Halifax earlier this year, and the Bombers beat them 2-1. The Bombers also had a penalty shot, and it could have gone either way. Here's O'Keefe with a shot, and he just missed that top left-hand corner. O'Keefe nearly forcing a turnover. The Bombers will fire it off the wall down the ice. This is going to go down for an icing call once again. And as we mentioned, talking to the Thunder coach just a few minutes before warm-up, he said it was a tight contest either way. And the game could have gone either way, really. The Thunder missed a couple of open nets, so it could have gone their way, but it went to the way of the Bombers, and Bombers took that game 2-1. So we should expect somewhat of a similar contest here between these two clubs here this afternoon, our third game of the day. That gets fired off the wall, and Thunder unable to keep it in at the line. They'll play it back for Miller. Miller will play it back down into Bombers territory. Cormier, his pass up the right side. Swain, he gets a high hit, and Miller's going to go off here for head contact, I do believe. That is exactly what the call is. It's going to be head contact, and is it going to be a 2 or is it going to be a 4? And I do believe it's only a 2 for head contact. And so Miller's going to sit for 2 minutes or less. And that is the call. 2 minutes. Shots on goal right now. It's 6-0 favoring the Bombers. There's a shot right on and another save there by Healy. Sim with it now for the Bombers. Feeds it over onto the near side. Sim back over for Williams into the slot, trying to get the shot off. There was Little, that was blocked, and the Thunder fire it down the ice. Here's Swain over onto the far side. Sim working, or excuse me, that's not Sim. There's a backhand shot. Anyways, that rolls off the stick of Williams, jumping up into the play. Cameron feeds it over the far side. Sim with a shot right on. Rebound is cleared away by the Thunder. Six and a half minutes to go here in the opening period. Under a minute to go in the Bombers' power play. As jumping up and keeping that play alive inside Bombers territory was Alex Kale, and the Bombers are forced back behind their own goal. Up the right side, Cormier, his pass to the middle of the ice. Little in over the line, or correction, it's not Little, that's Jackson McDonald. He gets bumped hard along the far wall. Puck battle along the wall, won by the Bombers. Grace, he'll fire a shot that goes off a leg down into the corner, goes all the way back to the point, out of the reach of Cormier. Bounces off the wall and back down into Bombers territory, and it's Jackson McDonald setting it up. He'll leave it there for Brett Cormier. Or no, correction, that's Cormier went off the ice. It's now Cameron in over the line. Cameron drops it off. There's a shot right on, and a nice save there by Healy off the stick of Sim, and the Thunder are able to clear that out down into neutral, down into Bombers territory, as the penalty to Smith has been killed off, and the Bombers are unable to get anything going on that power play as the Thunder kill it off. Puck bouncing around. Here's a turnover, however. Here's Green working his way in, just as an off onto the far side. There's a shot that gets fired wide of the Thunder goal. Back the other way now. Here's McGuire in over the line. He'll cut to the middle of the ice. McGuire fires a shot right on. Big rebound, and that goes into the right corner. McGuire plays it back to the point for Healy. Healy's shot, that gets blocked, and they're going to spring McKeever. McKeever working his way in, gets the shot off, and a nice save there by Healy. Frazier trying to play it back in deep. He'll skate it into the corner. It's taken away from him. Peach gets it out as far as the line, kept in by Grace. Over on the near side now, they'll get it up as far as the line. It gets out past Williams. Puck bouncing around, but here's Peach with a nice little move. Peach working his way in. Alward's going to come out and play it. He fans on it, and Peach recovers. He scores. Connor Alward came out to play the puck. He got his stick on it, but he didn't get quite enough of it to swat it far enough away from Seth Peach. And he had to recover quickly, and he scrambled back, and Peach basically just reached out and fired it towards the open net and just tucked it inside that left post of the Bombers' goal, and the Eastern Thunder are on the board first. For the neutral zone, it goes all the way down into Thunder territory. Cochran works down into the corner, pass out in front of the goal. There's a shot that gets blocked. Williams couldn't handle that at the point again. He'll come over onto the near side for Cormier. Cormier up for Anderson. That gets tipped down into Thunder territory. Here's Anderson on the right side. He has it chopped off his stick. Thunder turned it over in their own zone. Here's Sim trying to work it down low, and that was broken up, and the Thunder will clear it out of harm's way out in neutral ice. Max Parker will fire it back into Thunder territory. Healy leaves it in behind the goal. Pass up onto the left side for O'Keefe. O'Keefe turns it over. Cochran tried to make a pass into the slot area. That went off a skate and came back out into neutral ice. Working his way down the near side. Anderson trying to get a shot off and had a stick lifted, and O'Keefe is now back the other way for the Thunder. O'Keefe in over the line, fires a shot right on, and Alward juggled it for a moment, but still managed to hang on. .301 to go here in period number one. Eastern Thunder with a 1-0 lead over the WearWell Bombers. Draw played down into the corner. Puck battle along the end wall, deep in Bombers territory, comes up onto the far side, and pinching down is LaPlage to keep that play deep in Bombers territory. Williams couldn't handle that bounce pass off the wall. Thunder keeping the Bombers deep. Puck gets played up onto the near side. It's Swain trying to play that to the middle of the ice. That was broken up. Puck bouncing around. Over on the far side, Lee working his way down into the corner in behind the goal. Heffernan couldn't handle that in behind the Bombers goal, and the Bombers will come up with it on the near side. Here's Swain through the neutral zone and over the Thunder line, playing that towards the front of the goal. Swain still looking for it. Puck's loose in the slot area. Swain overskated it, and that allows LaPlage to come back the other way for the Thunder. He'll get the red line and fire it in to Bomber territory, and the Thunder will make the change. Here's Swain in over the line. He tried to feed it ahead. That was broken up. There's a shot from Cormier that just misses the blocker side as we get under 2 minutes to go here in period number 1. Cormier in the neutral zone. He'll fire it into Thunder territory. Here's McGuire through the neutral zone. He'll work it down into the corner. McGuire trying to get away from Cormier. McGuire still with it. McGuire all the way back out to the line, keeps it in. McGuire will fire the shot. Alward will steal that into the corner. McGuire avoids the hit of Cormier. Out in front of the goal, Peach with a shot. Puck's bouncing up into the air. They score! Seth Peach with his second. And the Thunder are up by a pair with 1:08 to go here in the opening period. Thunder will play that down into Bombers territory. Up onto the near side. There's Anderson to the middle of the ice for Sim. Sim driving wide. He'll send it towards the goal. That's steered into the corner there by Healy. O'Keefe plays that out in the neutral ice. And that'll be dumped down into Bombers territory by Alex Kale. That'll get played back inside the line, knocked down there by Sim. Alex Kale takes it away from Sim. Back the other way through the neutral zone and over the line. Here's O'Keefe. O'Keefe gets bumped off the puck, and it'll be skated back the other way by Cameron. Cameron in over the line has knocked off his stick down into the corner. Clark and Cameron fall down at the end of the rink as that'll get played out as far as the line, knocked down. 5 seconds to go here in the opening period. Here's Anderson. He'll fire a shot right on, and Healy will grab onto that, and he'll hang on with exactly 1 second to go here in the opening period. Again, the Bombers with a 2-0 lead. Or excuse me, the Bombers trailing 2-0. Looked over to my left, and I seen the goaltender Connor Alward make his way to the bench for the extra attacker with just 1 second to go. Swain tried to push it forward. Puck is dropped, and the buzzer will sound. That'll bring to an end the opening 20 minutes here at the Uniplex as the Eastern Thunder head to the dressing room up by a pair after 20 minutes of play. Shots on goal after the first. The Bombers are out shooting the Thunder 11-6. Pair of goals by Seth Peach in that opening 20 minutes is the story so far as the Eastern Thunder take a 2-0 lead to the dressing room after 20 minutes of play. You're watching the 2025 U15 Atlantic Hockey Championships right here on AO Live. First period intermission coming up right after this. Welcome back inside the Uniplex Center in Dieppe, New Brunswick. It is AOLI's continuing coverage of the 2025 U15 Male Atlantic Hockey Championships. Here from the Uniplex Center in Dieppe, New Brunswick, as I mentioned, just 2 goals to talk about in that opening 20 minutes. And a pair of goals by Seth Peach has the Eastern Thunder out to a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. Seth Peach should get the Thunder on the board at the 15:44 mark of the first period. Unassisted marker to make it 1-0, and then Seth Peach before the end of the period. It was Connor Alward coming out to play the puck, and he mishandled it, couldn't swat it away far enough from Seth Peach, and Alward had to scramble back to get back into net, and Peach was able to find the open net and put it home, and the Thunder were able to take the 2-0 lead. Jack Clark and Luke McGuire picking up the assist on the Seth Peach goal at 18:52, as right away the puck is fired down the ice, and this is going to be an icing call, bringing the face-off back into Thunder territory. Just 9 seconds gone here in the period. At the line, Parker will play it down into the corner. Clark plays it up onto the near side for the Thunder. Back to the line, kept in, and actually no, it did not get kept in and just get out across the line, and Max Parker unable to hold it in at the line, and so it's an offside against the Thunder. 21 seconds gone now here in period number 2. Thunder will get it back out in a neutral ice and back the other way now. Here is Kale towards the front of the goal, and that hops over the stick of McGuire. Puck will get wrapped around the wall onto the near side by the Bombers. Little towards the middle of the ice. Losing an edge there was Eli Swain and going down. Sim will play that down into Thunder territory. Puck sticking down in the corner there just a little bit. Peach back to get it for the Thunder. He'll play it off the wall. Kale will pick it up on the near side. He'll skate it out. He'll feed it up onto the left side. Here's a long shot by McGuire right on that's steered off the back wall there by Alward. Bombers playing it around the wall. It'll come all the way out in a neutral ice, and it's going to be picked up there by Cochran. He plays it inside the Bombers line. They'll pick it up in the neutral zone and skate it in over the line now. It goes down into the corner. Kale and Cochran, excuse me, battling for the puck. It comes loose at the side of the goal as McCallum was trying to swat it towards the goal, and comes back out in a neutral ice. Pass up for Cochran on the left side. Cochran plays it there for Green. Green into the slot for Cochran. Rolls off the end of his stick. Puck in behind the Thunder goal. Cochran now with it. Trying to cycle it in down into the corner. Here's Green and behind the goal. Green still with it, looking for options. Plays it back to the point. Williams tried to play it back in deep. The Thunder were able to clear that back out in a neutral ice. Here's Pitts for the Bombers. He'll play it back for Williams. Williams comes over onto the left wing, picked up there by Cochran and over the line. Cochran plays it right on goal, and that'll be grabbed onto there by Liam Healy, and he will hang on. 2:17 gone here in period number 2. Again, a 2-0 lead for the Eastern Thunder. A pair of goals by Seth Peach. Face-off is to the right. Of the Thunder goal. Thunder will play it up along the wall. To the middle of the ice now, through the neutral zone. It's O'Keefe in over the line. O'Keefe spins, delays, looking for options, plays it towards the front of the goal, and that'll find itself underneath Connor Alward's trapper, and he'll hang on. One more game to go here this afternoon. It'll actually be this evening. And it's going to be the 2 teams here from the Greater Moncton area. The host team, the Dieppe Flyers, taking on the New Brunswick representatives, the Moncton Hawks. Although the Dieppe Flyers were the provincial champs this year. The Moncton Hawks got into the Atlantics by way of the Flyers being the host, and those two teams clashing in the provincial championships. Here's Costello through the neutral zone into the slot. Costello with a shot that gets steered up off the glass there and off the wall by Alward. That'll get played out in a neutral ice. Back the other way now. Here's a 2-on-1 shaping up. There's a shot that'll go off a stick high and wide of the Thunder goal. Swain trying to play it back to the point. Nobody there for the Bombers. Back the other way is O'Keefe. He'll drop it there for Costello. Costello, his shot, that misses high off the glass, and it'll be kept in at the far point by McGuire, playing it down into the corner. And Carson, that wasn't McGuire, that was Healy over on the far point. Here's Laplage. He tried to play it up onto the right side. That was knocked down by Sim. Costello and Sim were tied up. Laplage are back the other way now. Laplage is backing over the line, drops it there into the slot. There's a shot right on. Alward the save as he denies Carter Lee with a great opportunity and a great look from the slot area. Thunder will play it over to the open wing. There's nobody there, and that allows the Bombers to skate it back the other way. Here's Cameron jumping up into the play. Cameron down into the near corner, gets bumped there by Jonah Healy. Here's Sim in behind the goal, plays it back here for Cameron on the near side. Cameron looking, plays it in behind the goal for Sim once again. Sim trying to play it out in front of the goal. That pass broken up. Sim battling there with McDonald, or correction, with Clark. And that allows the Thunder to come out. Long shot from the center ice. It'll be corralled there by Alward, and he'll hang on for another stoppage and play. 4:15 to go here, or 4:15 gone in period number 2. It is a 2-0 Eastern Thunder lead, the team out of Newfoundland Labrador, over the WearWell Bombers, the team out of Nova Scotia. Face-off is to the left of the Bombers' goal. The Bombers will fire that off the glass, knocked down, and that'll bounce out in a neutral ice and back the other way now. Here is an opportunity for McCallum. McCallum driving to the net as the puck comes off McCallum's stick. Liam Healy actually had a nice poke check there, and it kind of had it roll on McCallum, and he wasn't able to get a shot on goal. The Thunder fire that up into the Bombers bench. 4:29 gone here in period 2. It's still a 2-0 lead as Liam Healy thought the face-off was going to be to his right. It was actually over on its left, and most of the guys actually thought it was going to be over on the right side of the ice there too. As the Bombers tried to play it back to the point, and they actually play it all the way back down into their own ice, into their own end. Alward plays it into behind the goal. Picked up there by Williams. Onto the near side, McCallum trying to play it in deep, broken up there by Clark at the Thunder line. Here's Abbott. Feeds it over onto the far side. Long pass to the neutral zone. Tipped down into Bombers territory by Carter Lee. McCallum on the near side to the middle of the ice. Knocked off the stick of Hunter Green, and the Thunder play it back inside Bombers territory. Alward plays it over into the corner. Trying to rush it there is McCallum, or correction, that wasn't 28, that was 26, so it's Lawrence Williams. Bombers will just get it out in a neutral ice and played right back to the Bombers line. Here's McGuire, he'll fire a shot right on, and Alward will hang on to that for a stoppage and play, and a little conversation going on in front of the Bombers goal. .5:26 to go here in period number, or 5:26 gone. I will eventually get this right with my mathematics. Was having a conversation with someone for the, and just kind of figuring out what happens here with a bunch of if or ands, and we'll have some of those if or ands figured out here probably at the conclusion of this game if things kind of remain this way. McGuire getting waved out of the face-off circle. It's going to be Jaden Smith to come in and take the draw for the Thunder. It's won by the Bombers. They'll play it up the wall as the Thunder will keep it in at the line. Only momentarily. It'll be played back in to Bombers territory there by Healy. In the near corner. Cameron plays it around the wall, but that was intercepted by Smith. Bombers will try going out the other side. Long pass up the far side by Pitts. In over the line now is Cochran. Cochran getting a shot off that goes off a leg wide of the goal. Here's Swain down in the corner. Plays it back to the point. There's a shot from the point right on, and that'll be easily handled there by Liam Healy. 6:03 gone here in period number 2. Shots on goal right now, according to the official count and official stats, is 14 shots on goal for the Bombers and 11 for the Eastern Thunder. Face-off will be to the left of the Thunder goal. Draw one there by the Bombers, and they'll play it out into neutral ice. Big hit there in front of the 2 benches, as that'll get played down. Right in onto Healy. Healy will let it fall to the ice, and Williams will keep it in at the near point as the Bombers try to wrap it around the wall and get it out. Long pass from Costello to the middle of the ice. O'Keefe plays it back inside the Bomber zone. Long pass to the neutral zone. Nobody there for the Bombers. Following up is going to be Williams with some speed in over the line. Williams trying to work his way to the middle of the ice. And that was broken up there by the Thunder. Played all the way back down into Bombers territory. Cameron's pass to the middle of the ice for Sim. He's in over the line down the right side. Sim working wide on Kale. Throws it right through the blue paint. Nobody there for the Bombers. Back the other way now is O'Keefe. He'll just chip it down into the near corner. O'Keefe trying to play it out in front of the goal. Broken up at the side of the Bombers goal, and it's Cameron. Long pass to the middle of the ice. This is going to go all the way down the ice. This will be an icing call against the Bombers. 12:50 to go here in period number 2. And the Bombers are still down by 2 at 2-0 for the Eastern Thunder. Face-off is to the left of the Bombers goal. Back to the point, Lepage. His shot goes off the skate of the defenseman of the Bombers right in front of the goal and trickled there to Connor Alward, and he puts his trapper down on it, and he'll slow things up once again. Just one more game to go after this one on the day here at the Uniplex. As I mentioned a couple of times, it's going to be a big one. The 2 teams from the Greater Moncton area going head-to-head, the Dieppe Flyers and the Moncton Hawks. Game time for that is 7 o'clock here at the Uniplex Center. I would suspect it's going to be a pretty full barn for that game against those 2 teams from the Greater Moncton area. There's a dump in, pass out in front of the goal, broken up there by McGuire of the Thunder, and he'll skate it back the other way through the neutral zone. McGuire's in over the line, trying to get a weak shot off. Does so, and actually that shot looked a lot more dangerous and turned out to be a lot more dangerous than it should have. There's a shot right off from the face-off circle, and they score. Jaden Smith fires one home, and the lead is now 3-0 for the Eastern Thunder. That one seems to have found its way under Connor Alward, and he's still down on the ice wondering how that one managed to sneak through. Just a mad scramble out of the corner and managed to find Smith at the bottom of the face-off circle. He just spun and fired and slid it home. Here's Abbott now through the neutral zone. He'll fire a shot that goes off the blocker of Alward. Here's Williams up the right side. The Bombers will play it down into Thunder territory. Healy plays that high off the glass, knocked down on the far side. Kept it at the line. There's a shot that goes high and wide off the glass. Swain trying to play that down into the corner. Goes over into the far corner. The Thunder will play that up as far as the line, knocked down. Kept in at the line only momentarily, however. Thunder get it out into neutral ice. In over the line, here's Williams. He fires a shot. That goes wide of the goal. Abbott picks it up on the far side. He'll play it off the wall. The Bombers keep it in at the line, but the Thunder will find the open wing and they'll play it back out in neutral ice. Settled down there by Simon Pitts. Plays it over for Williams, who plays it up off the wall, and it actually hops into the Eastern Thunder bench. And there's actually going to be a penalty here. I thought it hopped up into the Thunder bench, but there's going to be a too many men on the ice penalty here being called against the Eastern Thunder. So a power play opportunity here for the WearWell Bombers. Chance to get on the scoreboard here with 11 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the second period. So lots of hockey to go here in this game. Bombers have just got to try to find a way to get one here and start seeing if they can build some momentum for the remainder of this second period. As the face-off was dropped and whistle is blown, something fell out into the ice there off the Bombers bench. So they'll do the face-off all over again. Face-off is dropped and we are back underway. Back to the line. Here's Cameron. Cameron turns it over to Kale, and Kale turns it right back over to Cameron, who plays it inside the Thunder line. That puck gets cleared out into neutral ice. Cameron knocks it down, but the Thunder are able to play it back inside Bomber territory. Liam Heffernan over to serve the too many men on the ice penalty to the Thunder. There's Cameron with a shot. He fires that one just wide of the goal. The correction, that was Williams. Williams with it once again. He'll skate it in over the line. Williams spins away from a check. Has it over on the far wall. Williams once again back to the line. Cameron over for Sim. Sim backdoor for Williams, and what a nice save there by Healy. Here's Sim once again walking in, trying to go backdoor once again. Gets it there. Williams looking for the redirect in front of the goal. Swain was standing right there on the doorstep. As Sim throws that one right through the blue paint blindly, the Thunder are able to come up with it and fire it down the ice. Bombers changing up the penalty power play unit. As Cormier runs over his man as he was on that rush. Alward, he'll come out and play it around the wall over onto the near side. Half a minute to go in the Bombers power play, but it's the Thunder working down deep. O'Keefe. He'll cycle it in behind the goal once again. The Bombers going to chase it down on the near side, and collision down in the corner. Puck comes out towards the front of the goal. That was broken up there by Cormier. He'll skate it through the neutral zone. Cormier is in over the line. He fires a shot, goes off a leg and into the corner. The bench minor is just about done. Pass comes right back out towards the point area, and Cameron wasn't able to hold it into the Thunder territory, and Cameron will skate it back the other way now. Teams are even at even strength. There's Cameron working his way in. Backhand shot right on, and a nice save by Healy. And he will grab onto that and hang on as we are under 9 minutes to go here in the second period. 8:58 exactly remaining here in period number 2. Off the draw. So at the point, there's a shot that gets redirected just wide of the Thunder goal. Puck gets played back over onto the near side. The Thunder play it back behind their net. Almost took a funny bounce back out in front of the net. Smith, he'll just play it off the wall out in a neutral ice. It'll get fired back in to Thunder territory, but it hit one of the Bombers players coming out of the zone. And so it's going to be an offside at the Thunder line. 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go here in period number 2. A 3-0 Eastern Thunder lead over the WearWell Bombers. Pair of goals by Seth Peach. Actually, Peach has factored in on all 3 goals with 2 goals and an assist here so far. Luke McGuire with a pair of assists for the Thunder. Puck kept in at the line. Here's Williams, gets a shot through. That goes off a leg and wide of the goal. LaPlage up for Lee on the near side, and that'll get played back down into Bombers territory. Cameron trying to spin away from Cochran, trying to spin away from a couple of bodies. Does so, dishes it off onto the far side. There's a shot that goes off the blocker of Healy and up over the glass and out of play. That shot coming off the stick of Jackson McKeever. And it's another stoppage in play. 16-13 are the official count on the shots on goal. If I had to be honest with you, I think it's probably a little more one-sided than that for the Thunder. There's a pass that'll come right back out into the slot. It'll be kept in at the line. Down into the corner. Bowden trying to work it out in front of the goal. That gets chopped away from him. At the point, Cormier fires a shot that goes wide of the goal. Pinching down in deep is Jack Cameron, playing it down below the goal line. Swain out in front of the goal, shot right on, and then Healy denies Sim. Through the neutral zone now. Down the right side, there's a shot that's eye high. Alward had that go in and out of his trapper. There's a pass that'll bounce right back through the slot, but it'll be picked up there by Swain. He'll play it off the wall, and it's Sim bringing it in down the near side. Into the slot for Cameron. He fires that one high and wide, and the Thunder will clear that out back down into neutral ice. Cameron plays that right in onto Alward, or excuse me, Liam Healy from center ice. 7 minutes to go here in period 2. The Thunder with a 3-0 lead on the WearWell Bombers. Puck played all the way down into Thunder territory. Linesmen are going to say no icing. They're going to let him play. Puck bouncing out into the slot area. That's trying to get a shot off. That's Anderson. That goes off his shin pad and into the corner. Back the other way now. The Thunder will be through the neutral zone. Here's Costello. Costello feeds it through. That goes off the stick of Smith, but he'll play it back in behind the Bombers goal. Costello up there looking for it. Puck out in front of the goal. Backhand shot. Smith is denied by Alward. That'll get played inside the Thunder line. McGuire's all the way back for the Thunder. McGuire fanning on his pass, but the D will get it out in neutral ice and fired back into Thunder territory as the Bombers had to tag up on the delayed offside. As that'll get played up on the wall on the near side into neutral ice. McCollum tips that down into Thunder territory. There's a shot from the point. That'll go high and off the glass on the near side. Cameron tried to get the shot through, but that was knocked down. McGuire will pick it up. Long pass up for Peach. And he has that go off his stick and down into Bombers territory. Picked up there by Cameron. Cameron up the left side through the neutral zone. McKeever has it roll off his stick. And the Thunder will play it up all the way down the ice. This will go down, and this will make it down there for an icing call. 8 seconds away from the 5-minute mark here in period number 2. A 3-0 Eastern Thunder lead over the WearWell Bombers. Seth Peach, a pair of goals, as I mentioned. Jaden Smith with the other goal for the Bombers. Or not the Bombers, excuse me, the Thunder. And something going on here. They're actually going to have the face-off at center ice. The referee and linesman discussed it. Was not an icing. And so they'll just start over from the middle of the ice. Fair for everyone. The Thunder will play it back down into Bombers territory. Down below the goal line, this is Kale out in front of the goal, and he's looking for Costello, and was just out of his reach. Long pass goes all the way down the ice now. This one will be an icing call, and this one will come back into Thunder territory. Goes off the draw. Another big collision down below the goal line. Bombers play it back to the point. There's a delayed penalty actually coming up. Here's Williams with a shot right on. And that's stopped there by Healy. And there's going to be an interference call going to, it looks like, Jack Clark. And that is who it is. Interference call. And so the face-off will be to the right of the Thunder goal. You're going to get an opportunity here for the Bombers to get on the board with under 5 minutes to go. Actually, 4:29 to go here in period number 2 as they find themselves down by 3. Draw one there, back to the point. Here's Cameron over for Williams. Back for Cameron. Cameron for Sim. Sim and Cameron switch spots. Here's Cameron picking it up. He'll walk it down, trying to go backdoor. Puck's bouncing around in the slot, and it's going to be cleared away to the line, but kept in by Sim. Sim back to the point for Cameron, over for Williams, and that was almost picked off there by Costello. Here's Williams. He'll play it over for Sim. Sim down low for Swain. Swain will play it back for Williams. Or Cameron, excuse me. Williams now with it. Down for Sim. Down for Swain. Swain trying to go right up in front of the goal. Swain, his backhand pass goes off a couple of sticks. It gets out as far as the line. Here's an opportunity now as Costello's working his way down the right side. Costello in, fires a shot, and it goes off the blocker of Alward. Back the other way now are the Bombers. In over the line. Cameron turns that over, and Costello will play it off the wall, and Alward's going to come out and play it. He turns it over once again. Costello waiting, trying to outweight him, trying to jam it in short side, and that goes off the outside of the net as Costello doing a great job there on the penalty kill. Still 40 seconds to go in the Bombers' power play, and the Thunder will fire it back down into Nova Scotia territory. The Bombers are the ones who have the power play, but so far it's been the Thunder with the best opportunities to score. Here's Sim working his way in. Out in front of the goal, right on, they score! Great patience there by Ewan Sim, working his way down the left side, all the way in behind the Thunder goal. Slides it out in front and finds Eli Swain. And the power play goal now has the Bombers back within 2 with 2:53 to go here in the second period.
WearWell Bombers est compté par le numéro 5. WearWell Bombers' first goal is scored by number 5, Eli Swain.
As the Bombers will fire it into Thunder territory. That gets played up along the far wall. Knocked down at the line. There's a shot from the point. Redirected. That goes off the crossbar. Puck bounces up into the air and comes down to rest just in front of the goal, but it's going to be picked up there by McGuire. Near opportunity there for the Bombers right after they get themselves on the scoreboard. A great shift there by this line by the team out of Nova Scotia. There's a long shot from the point, and that stung. I do believe that's McKeever that got hit with that one, and he's wincing on his way to the bench. Actually, no correction. That was Hunter Green who took that shot up high from the point. That gets played ahead for Peach. Peach is going to work his way down into the corner. He'll take it in behind the Bombers' goal, and he actually gets pushed off the puck. Long pass to the neutral zone. Cameron in over the line. Little toe drag. Going to dish it off. Trying to go back to Cameron was McKeever. And the Bombers will play it up, or excuse me, the Thunder play it up onto the near side. Here's Peach in over the line. Peach couldn't. Peach trying to get the shot or drag it a little bit longer as Smith tried to extend the leg just as far as he could to stay onside, but Peach made one too many moves at the line, and Smith's momentum kept him going over the line. 1:24 to go here in the second. Bombers down by a pair, 3-1. Eli Swain with the goal for the Bombers. Pair of goals by Seth Peach and Jaden Smith for the Thunder. That gets played off the wall out in the neutral ice and fired back in to Bombers territory. As we're under a minute to go now here in the second. Long pass up onto the near side. Swain will tip it down into Thunder territory. Healy plays it in behind the goal. Pass up onto the near side. Here's Costello through the neutral zone in over the line. Costello into the slot. There's a shot right on. Elward the save. He looked behind him, but he manages to keep it under his pad. And a stoppage in play, and there's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty here coming. And it's going to go to Ewan Sim. I didn't see what happened at the end of that play there. But in any event, face-off is going to be to the right of the Bombers' goal. Draw one there by the Thunder. As Clark couldn't keep that puck in at the line, and so it's an offside call. Off the draw, Clark controls. He'll feed it up there for McGuire. McGuire has it knocked off his stick before he was able to get across the line. Here's Cameron back the other way for the Bombers. Cameron towards the front of the goal. Little had his stick lifted in front of the net. And the Thunder will control him behind their own goal. Here's McGuire. He'll skate it through the neutral zone. Just 9 seconds to go in the period. McGuire in over the line. McGuire drops it for Costello. His shot goes off a leg wide of the goal. It'll bounce over into the far corner. And that'll get cleared out in a neutral ice and down the ice, and the buzzer will sound to bring to an end period number 2 here in game number 3 of the afternoon, as the WearWell Bombers trail by a pair of goals at 3-1 after 40 minutes of play. 19 shots for the Bombers, so 8 in that second period for the Bombers. So 2-period total of 19.
The WearWell Bombers, 8 2-period total of 19, and for the Eastern Thunder.
And for the Thunder, had 11 shots on goal for a 2-period total of 17. So 19-17 after 40 minutes of play are the shots on goal. As the second period intermission gets underway right now, we're going to take a quick timeout. And we'll come back with third period action here at the Uniplex Center here in Dieppe. You're watching the 2025 U15 Male Atlantic Hockey Championships here on AO Live. Back inside the Uniplex Center in Dieppe, New Brunswick, as AO Live's continuing coverage of the 2025 U15 Male Atlantic Hockey Championships continues. Day number 2, game number 3 of the day, as the Eastern Thunder out of Newfoundland Labrador have a 3-1 lead over the WearWell Bombers representing Nova Scotia. The Bombers are still going to be shorthanded for the next minute and 22 seconds as Ewan Sim continues to serve his unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that he received at the end of that second period, or near the end of the second period, with just 38 seconds remaining. Seth Peach, the story here this evening, 2 goals and an assist for 3 points. He's factored in all 3 goals. 2 goals to talk about in that second period. Jaden Smith extended the lead to 3-0 for the team out of Newfoundland Labrador. Luke McGuire and Seth Peach with the assist. That goal coming at the 7:41 mark of the second period. But at 17:07, Eli Swain would get the Bombers on the scoreboard. Assist going to Ewan Sim. And that is where we stand after 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal 19-17 favoring the Bombers. As O'Keefe is in over the, or excuse me, Smith is in over the line. O'Keefe is standing along the near half wall here. Smith and O'Keefe get their signals crossed up, but the Thunder are able to keep it in at the line. It'll go around the wall. McGuire gets bumped along the wall on the far side. Kale will keep it in at the right point. Kale trying to play it there for McGuire. McGuire will poke it back for himself. He'll work his way into the slot. He'll dish off for O'Keefe on the near side. McGuire would have been better off shooting. He was in a great shooting spot there. Costello down into the corner. Smith will slow it down. Comes over onto the near side. O'Keefe will chop it in behind the goal. It'll go around the far side. It'll actually be picked up by the Bombers, and they'll fire it down into Thunder territory. Half a minute to go in the Thunder power play. Through the neutral zone, McGuire is going to spin back into his own zone. O'Keefe has it hop over his stick. Bombers played inside, or excuse me, the Thunder played inside the Bombers line. That'll get played back down into the corner. A couple of bodies are tied up together. Costello trying to get to that puck, but he was tied up by the Bombers defenseman. That gets fired down the ice, and Sim, his penalty is now expired, and the teams are now back at 5 aside with 18.5 minutes to go here in period 3. Long pass for the neutral zone. Here's McGuire. He'll take it in over the line. McGuire into the slot, fires a shot, and that goes off the pad of Alward, and he didn't know where it was. Big rebound bounced over into the far left corner. Puck gets played over and behind the Bombers' goal. They'll play it up the left wing. Sim, his pass over to the near side. It'll be too high and hard for McCallum to handle. McGuire, nifty little move at the Bombers' line. McGuire once again avoids the check of McDonald. McGuire plays it into the corner for Costello. Costello has it roll off his stick. It'll come over onto the near side. It'll be picked up there by Anderson. Anderson's pass all the way down the ice, just out of the reach of Jackson McDonald. And I think McDonald needed about a 9-foot stick, though, to get a stick even just remotely close to touching it, so it wouldn't have been an icing call. 17 minutes and 42 seconds to go here in the third. Just look over my left shoulder and see the head coach and general manager of the Acadie Bathurst Titan, or the former Acadie Bathurst Titan, I should say now, after their season's over. Gordy Dwyer in attendance here as that puck got played in behind the Thunder goal. It'll roll over onto the far side. Thunder trying to play it down in deep, or excuse me, the Bombers trying to play it in deep, and that was broken up. Pass off the stick of Abbott, goes all the way down into Thunder territory. Ruben Laplage plays that all the way back down into Bombers territory. And it'll be picked up there by Cameron through the neutral zone. Cameron's in over the line, driving wide. Cameron driving to the net. He gets knocked down, and he goes down into the goalpost quite heavily. But he's able to get up and move and get out of the blue paint on his own accord. Talking about Gordy Dwyer and the Acadie Bathurst Titan. They'll be starting play next season out of the Mary Brown Center in St. John's, Newfoundland. It'll be known as the Newfoundland Regiment for next season. Second go around for the Quebec Maritime Hockey League in Newfoundland. We'll see how it goes this time through. As the face-off will be to the left. As just taking a look down there at Connor Alward. Little equipment issue that was taken care of. Draw one there by the Bombers. At the point, there's a shot that'll get knocked down or goes right in onto Healy, but it's an offside at the Thunder line. The puck came out the line. I don't think the referee realized it, and the face-off's actually going to come out in neutral ice. Of course, Gordy Dwyer's son, Ryan Dwyer, he played in this tournament back in 2022 with the Eastern Express, when that tournament was held in Quispamsis, New Brunswick. Bombers now controlling their own zone. Dwyer resides in Prince Edward Island, originally from Dalhousie, New Brunswick. So a little bit of ties to both New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, and now will have some ties to Newfoundland as well. There's a long pass. It'll get tipped down into Bombers territory. Then it'll go right to Connor Alward, and he'll hang on. 16-18 to go here in the third. A 3-1 Eastern Thunder lead over the WearWell Bombers. Face-off is to the left of Connor Alward. There's a shot from the point, redirected just wide of the Bombers' goal. That'll get played down below the goal line. Back out in front of the goal. There's a shot right on. They score. I do believe that's Jaden Smith once again. So not only Seth Peach, but Jaden Smith with a pair of goals here today, as the lead is back up to 3 at 4-1 for the Eastern Thunder. Here's McGuire. He'll feed it back into his own zone. Over onto the left side for Smith. And it's down to the far side. There's a shot right on. They score! And it's Luke McGuire. And actually, it wasn't Jaden Smith that was given the goal. It was actually number 3, so Seth Peach with the hat-trick goal, as Peach has factored in on all 4 goals, as it's Luke McGuire who extends the lead to 4. It is now 5-1. He goes in and just shelves one over top of Connor Alward. And the Thunder have started to really take things to the Bombers. Through the neutral zone now. Here's Cameron working his way in down below the goal line. Cameron out in front of the goal, comes all the way back to the point. Long shot gets redirected as Healy, I think, got a piece of that. The Thunder trying to get it out at the line. Bombers keep the play alive over on the far wall, but it's chopped out at the line and back into Bomber territory. Parker back to get it for the Bombers. He'll turn it over. Lee will kick it up to his stick. Lee working his way out of the corner and behind the Bombers' goal. Puck will get wrapped around over on the far side. It'll be kept in by O'Keefe, or LaPlage, excuse me, over on the far wall. Bombers trying to work it up the wall. Lee trying to kick it back down. He's working it down the half wall nicely, but the Bombers will come up with it and they'll play it back towards the middle of the ice. And here's Anderson through the neutral zone, in over the line. Anderson's all by himself as the rest of the Bombers have taken off to go make a line change. And Anderson just plays it down into the corner. The Thunder will play it over onto the far side. There's Costello. His pass to the middle of the ice, intended for Abbott. There's a joke in itself right there. As there's a shot right off the shoulder of Alward. Through the neutral zone, it gets hit. McKeever plays it down into the Thunder zone. The Bombers trying to work their way out. Thunder will pick it up and just chip it off the wall and get it out into neutral ice. Kale plays it off the wall and behind the goal. Stepping up, though, however, is Cochran. He'll play it down into the corner. As that'll get cleared out and down into Bomber territory with 13:45 to go here in the third. A 5-1 lead for the Thunder. There's a pass towards the front of the goal. Shot right on off the stick of Little. And once again, as he's done often here this evening, making his 20th save of the game, Liam Healy closing the door. 13:37 to go here in period number 3. To thank my astute broadcast booth partners. There's a shot right off the face-off that goes high off the glass. I didn't even know this and notice it. But the Bombers have already pulled their goaltender with 13 minutes and 20 seconds to go, so they know that they need this game for an opportunity to stay alive in the standings, and down by 4. Whether you lose by 4 or lose by 5, I guess at this point it doesn't really matter for the Bombers, so you're going to have to try and draw up something here as the Thunder are just kind of sitting back, almost playing that 1-2-2 neutral zone trap system that the New Jersey Devils made famous in the 90s. Here's Swain. This pass to the middle of the ice, it was intended for Green. Puck will get cleared into the line. There's a long shot down the ice, and that was knocked down there by Cameron. Up the right side, right away for Swain. Swain down and over the line. The defenseman falls. Swain out in front of the goal as there's a couple of whacks at it and was cleared away. Thunder will play it out in a neutral ice. Cameron plays it over for Sim. Long pass up onto the far side as they're trying to play the puck towards the front of the goal. There's Swain down in the corner. He turns it over. There's a long shot that'll go down the ice, and this is going to be an icing call. And so this will be brought back into Thunder territory. And actually, it looks like Connor Alward is now back in net as well, so it might have been just for a shift or two to get the 6 best players out on the ice, and maybe we might see the goaltender go in and out here for the remainder of this game. As Lee will play that down into the corner. Heffernan, he gets bodied down from behind. There's going to be a penalty here coming up to Little. Going to be a boarding penalty, I do believe, and that is what the call is going to be. So 8:07 gone here in the third. And the Thunder are going to go to the power play with Cohen Little heading off to the sin bin for 2 minutes or less. Face-off is to the right of Connor Alward. Again, a 3-goal performance and a 4-point afternoon for Seth Peach. 3 goals and an assist. Luke McGuire is just the opposite. He's got 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points. Jaden Smith also has a 3-point day going on, a goal and 2 assists. In over the line, the Bombers. Here's Swain. Swain with the toe drag, fires a shot. That just goes wide, low blocker side. Puck comes over into the near side. Costello, he'll fire that off the referee, actually. I think he meant to fire it off the glass, and the puck ended up settling in behind the goal as Sim takes down his man, and Sim's going to try and work it out from behind the goal. Bombers are going to try to get something here, as time might start becoming of an essence, as that'll get played all the way down the ice. Smith is going to try to play it as he pokes it over top of Alward, and he scores. As Connor Alward came back to poke check at the puck, Jaden Smith was able to poke it up over top of him and roll it home, and it's now a 5-goal lead and a power play marker for the Thunder. As the Bombers will play that out in a neutral ice. In over the line. There's a shot right on, and Liam Healy with another save. That's his 22nd save of the afternoon. Face-off is going to be to the right of the Thunder goal. And here's Abbott through the neutral zone. He'll chip it down into Bomber territory, but he was on the wrong side of the red line, and this is going to be an icing call. They're going to bring the face-off back into Thunder territory with 10:44 to go here in the third period. So 3 players with multiple points on the afternoon. Jaden Smith, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Luke McGuire with a goal and 3 assists. That's 4 points. And Seth Peach with 3 goals and an assist for 4 points. So just a great performance by those guys today. Abbott was able to get the shot off, and he scores. Alex Abbott getting in on the scoring. And it is now 6-1. Or correction, 7-1. Off the draw, here's Kale playing it out in a neutral ice, and will go all the way back into Bombers territory. Here's Cormier. He'll play it up the right side. Anderson tips it inside the Thunder line. Anderson trying to work his way through. He has a stick lifted there by Smith. Anderson gets bumped in behind the goal, and it'll be McGuire over on the far side. He overskated it, but the Thunder defense will get it out in a neutral ice. This gets played off the wall and back inside the Thunder line. Peach gets bodied there by Sim, and that allows the Bombers to come back the other way, driving it into the net as Cameron jumping up into the play, and he rolls that one wide of the Thunder goal. Cameron bumps his man in behind the goal, trying to throw it out in front of the goal, and that was blocked there nicely by the goaltender, Liam Healy. A couple of bodies collide into each other over on the far wall, and it'll come out in a neutral ice, and it'll go down into Bombers territory. And here's McGuire working his way in. McGuire over for Smith. He scores. As during one of the last stoppages in play, Ben McDonald has come into the game to replace Connor Alward. And it is now 8-1.
Et huitième but du Eastern Thunder. Son troisième du match est compté par le numéro 12.
Jaden Smith with his third of the afternoon.
Third of the game is scored by number 12, Jaden Smith.
As that puck hops up over the glass and out of play.
C'est le number 8, Luke McGuire. Le temps du but, 10 minutes 32 secondes. Time to go, 10 minutes 32 seconds.
As the Thunder will play that up off the wall, knocked down at the line, kept in. Through the neutral zone, the Thunder will just roll it down into Bombers territory. McDonald will roll it around the wall, kept in by the Thunder. That'll get played around the wall onto the near side. Here's Swain through the neutral zone and over the line. Down the right side, Swain in behind the Thunder goal. He gets bumped. Little for the Bombers, plays it there for Swain in the corner. Swain being worked on by Miller. Swain still with it, trying to play it out in front of the goal. That pass goes off a stick. They'll try to play it back to the point. That was broken up there by the Thunder. Here's Costello. He'll work it into Bombers territory. Parker lost that to Costello, and he just plays it back in behind the Bombers goal. Here's Cormier. Up the left side, that pass was intended for Little. It goes off the wall all the way down the ice. It's going to be an icing call. They're going to bring the face-off all the way back into Bombers territory with 8:05 to go here in period 3. Five-point afternoon for Jaden Smith. 4-point afternoon for Seth Peach. 5-point afternoon for Luke McGuire. Well, really, all the offense comes from 3 separate players here this afternoon for the Thunder. Nice little hand-eye coordination there by Carter Lee to get it inside the Bombers line, and then the Bombers will fire it down into Thunder territory. Puck at the side of the goal, shot right on. Healy with the save. Puck gets played over onto the near side. Bombers trying to keep it in at the line. Abbott just tips it out in a neutral ice. Hofferman for Lee, or Heffernan, excuse me. Thunder will play that inside the Bombers line. 7:15 to go here in the third. That pass gets tipped down into Thunder territory. Healy out to play it. He'll play it around the near side. Abbott trying to get to it. He knocks it off the wall, but it's kept in at the line. McGuire deep in his own zone. He'll play it off the glass. Gets knocked down on the near side, and that'll be fired down the ice, and this will go down for an icing call with 6:53 to go here in the third period. 7-goal difference as the Eastern Thunder with an 8-1 lead over the WearWell Bombers. Off the draw, there's a long shot, gets knocked down in front of the goal, and the Thunder are able to clear that out in a neutral ice, and it'll be picked up there by Parker. Parker tried to dump it in, but it goes off a leg and bounces back inside Bombers territory. Puck bounces up into the air. McGuire looking for it. It's knocked down in the neutral zone. Peach up there looking for it. Frazier will skate it in over the line. Controlled there by the Thunder. Here's Smith. He'll dump it down into Bombers territory. McDonald out to play it. He'll play it around the wall. Picked up on the far side by McCallum. He has it knocked off his stick. And the Thunder working it back inside the Bombers zone. Frazier will play it down into Bombers territory. Healy plays it up on the left side. Smith, one-touch pass for McGuire through the neutral zone. McGuire's in over the line. McGuire will spin it down into the corner. He gets bumped by Pitts, and he gets taken off the puck. Played up onto the near side. It's Swain and over the line. Swain trying to work his way towards the front of the goal. Swain gets tripped up. Puck comes out into the slot. There's a shot right on as Healy makes the save, and he's able to hang on to it. 5 minutes and 32 seconds to go here in the third period, an 8-1 lead for the Eastern Thunder. Once again, folks, don't forget our final game of the day coming up at 7 o'clock tonight right here on AO Live, and it's going to be a dandy of a contest as the two New Brunswick teams go head-to-head. The host, Dieppe Flyers, also the New Brunswick provincial champion, Dieppe Flyers, take on the provincial runners-up, the Moncton Hawks, and that game's scheduled to start at 7 o'clock right here on AO Live, as well as here at the Uniplex Center in Dieppe, New Brunswick, as the puck is played down into Bombers territory. Puck worked up along the wall, kept in at the line. There's a long shot from Healy that gets steered into the corner by McDonald, and the Bombers will just clear it out into neutral ice. That pass goes past everyone, and that'll be an icing call against the Thunder with 5:02 to go here in the third. As that puck will get cleared down into Bombers territory. Played off the wall, tipped down into Thunder territory there by Anderson. That'll get wrapped around the wall. Swain looking for the puck over on the far wall, but the Thunder will just skate it out into neutral ice. Heffernan plays it down in behind the Bombers goal. McDonald plays it around the wall, picked up by Swain over on the left wing. He'll skate it through the neutral zone. Swain in over the line. Waiting for some options, looking. Swain in behind the goal, out in front of the goal, and that puck bounces off the foot of Sim. In behind the goal, Sim will pick it up there from Swain. Sim trying to do the Michigan, and just couldn't get the puck to settle down on his stick. In over the line. There's a tripping penalty here coming up to the Thunder, as it's going to be Carter Lee going off for tripping, with 4:08 to go here in period number 3. Off the draw. Thunder get it out as far as the line and out in the neutral ice. Here's Peach to the middle of the ice. In over the line. Bombers take down the forward. I do believe that was Carter Lee tripped up. No, correction, Carter Lee's in the penalty box. That would have been Alex Kale tripped up in the slot area. And the Bombers are going to head to the penalty box now. That being Hunter Green going off for 2 minutes or less for tripping. 3:47 to go here in the third. 4-on-4 hockey now for the next minute and 39 seconds. Draw one there by the Thunder. Over for Healy. Healy's shot doesn't get through. Here's Kale with a shot that goes off the blocker of McDonald. He had no idea where it went. It went straight up and landed just to his right in the near corner.
16 minutes, 13 seconds.
Here's Cormier for the Bombers. He'll spin away. They'll play it back off the end wall over into the far corner for Pitts. Pitts back for Cormier. Here's Sim through the neutral zone as it knocked off his stick. Kale plays it back into his own zone. Healy turns it over to Sim. Sim's up there all by himself. The other Bombers peeled off for a line change. He tried to play it back to the point, and that was broken up and back the other way. Now is Kale in over the line. He'll drop it for Peach. Peach toe dragging it. Gets a backhand shot off. McDonald the save, and the Bombers will skate it back the other way. 2:45 to go here in the third. 35 seconds to go in 4-on-4 hockey before the Bombers go on the power play, or be shorthanded, excuse me. And what a nice save there by Liam Healy, sliding across on that one-timer. Here's Sim along the wall. He'll feed it over into the far corner for Swain. Swain gets around one man, cutting into the slot area, has it knocked off his stick, and the Thunder will come back the other way. Nice little spin move in the neutral zone there by Peach. Peach working his way in, little toe drag, backhand shot. He couldn't get that shot through. It was knocked down on the way through by Parker. Puck out in front of the goal. It goes off the side of the net of the Bombers. On the near side, Frazier. McGuire picks it up. As we're under 2 minutes to go. Green is going to step out of the penalty box, and we will be back to 5 aside, and that is the case right now. Back to even strength on both sides. Here's Lee through the middle of the ice. McGuire avoids the check at center ice, turns the puck over. Bombers control. I don't get fired down into Thunder territory. Here's the Bombers with a shot that goes off the glove of Healy, just wide of the goal. As the face-off is won to the right of the Thunder goal. It plays over into the far corner. As we're under a minute to go now here in the third, as the puck gets played down into Bombers territory. All the way back to get it is Cormier for the Bombers. Plays it over to the open wing. Heffernan back down into the corner, pass out into the slot. Lee had his stick tied up, couldn't get the shot off. There's a shot from the point that doesn't get through. Over in the near side. Gets played up onto the near wall. Heffernan plays it back in behind the Bombers goal. Half a minute to go now here in the hockey game. Here's Cormier through the neutral zone. Frazier has it knocked off his stick, and the Thunder will play it back in behind the Bombers goal. 15 seconds to go here in the third. As the Bombers will just let it go in behind the goal, they'll play it into the near corner for Cormier. He'll skate it out through the neutral zone. Cormier in over the line. Cormier gets one final shot off, goes into the trapper of Healy. He'll drop it. The buzzer will sound, and the Eastern Thunder with a huge, huge win at 8-1. They improved their record to 2-1 on the tournament after a win here against the WearWell Bombers. Final shots on goal, 26-25. And it's an 8-1 win for the Bombers. We get the Players of the Games presentation coming up in just a couple of moments.
They got it in.
And so we're just going to have the Players of the Game presentation coming up here. Coming up in just a couple of moments. Derek Cormier going to make the presentation.
The Player of the Game Award is sponsored by PEH Pro Evolution Hockey. Présentation joueur du match. Présentation du Player of the Game est faite par Derek Cormier. Player of the Game will be by Derek Cormier. Le joueur du match pour les WearWell Bombers. Player of the Game for the WearWell Bombers. Le numéro 7, number 7.
Cohen Little is going to be the player of the game for the WearWell Bombers. And it's going to be a handful of selections here for the Eastern Thunder.
Eastern Thunder, player of the game for the Eastern Thunder, number 3, Seth Peach.
And I guess you have to go with Seth Peach. You could have gone with Jaden Smith. Peach with 3 goals and an assist. Smith with 3 goals, 2 assists. Luke McGuire with a goal and 4 assists. A 5-point game here for Luke McGuire. Could have even gone with Liam Healy as well. He was absolutely solid when he needed to be in goal for the Eastern Thunder. And so, as I mentioned, the Eastern Thunder now go to 2-1 on the round robin. And the WearWell Bombers fall to 0-2, 1-0 with the overtime loss this morning. And so we are going to wrap things up, and we're going to get all set for our final game of the evening, as it's going to be a big one. It's the battle of the 2 teams in the Greater Moncton area. The Dieppe Flyers, the host team. They also were the provincial champs this year. They'll be taking on the Moncton Hawks, as the Hawks were the runners-up at the provincial championship a couple of weeks ago, and so that's how they were able to get the berth into the Atlantic Championships here today, or this weekend. And so, once again, the final score here in this game, 8-1, the Eastern Thunder getting by the WearWell Bombers. You've been watching the 2025 U15 Atlantic Hockey Championships here on AO Live. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with our final game of the day coming up at 7 o'clock. So in about 55 minutes time or so is puck drop scheduled to start here in Dieppe. Enjoy your little break. We'll see you back here at 7 o'clock.